The final ending of throwing out the bear. Other parts down below. While first counseling session went about as well can be expected, I wasn't expecting a sudden change of heart, but she finally started being honest not only with me but with herself. She admitted she checked out 3 years ago and hasn't done anything to check back in. Admitted that she feels like it is too late. I was able to finally express my feelings and with help her hear my feelings. Granted, it's not everything, still a lot to work through, but it's a start. She later admitted that night that each day a little more she is thinking divorce isn't the answer. She is still more on the divorce side and has a long way to go, but she admitted that day by day I am changing her mind. So, whether we get a divorce or not, we are finally working on our issues. She has promised to keep an open heart in regard to me, and this past month she has. I don't say that because of her words but because of her actions. Had a minor flare-up last night after the session. My boy had described he wanted to ask mommy questions but was scared. I couldn't answer the questions for him and I refused to ask them for him. In him not around. Right now he has a very large fear that if he makes mommy unhappy that she is going to quit loving him as well. So, I had him sit next to me and talk to mommy, told him before the conversation if he is worried, he can whisper in my ear. And I will ask the questions for him. Well, he started to talk and then got scared, so I told him that I was there for him and would protect him. Wife initially reacted badly after he left, saying I was blaming her for our children being messed up and was very aggressive and hostile, justifying her choices. I told her that I handled this to the best of my ability, that our children were hurting and I was giving her the chance to help ease the pain. If she keeps making me a bad guy when I am not being one, I will start acting like one. She then calmed down and told me it was that line that upset her. We then talked really quick about the whole it's all her fault. I calmly and lovingly told her, yes, our kids are messed up right now. Did you think this wasn't going to affect them? She replied, no, I had nothing to do with wanting a divorce, separating. You wanted it. You are the one who emotionally detached, not me, so yes. It is your fault. I didn't blame you a few minutes ago. You felt like I did because you feel guilt over it. Because quite honestly, we both know in this particular case, yes, it is you that is causing the disturbance. If you prefer, I can quit sharing with you what the kids are telling me they feel about you. I do not want to, because they will grow to resent you. She told me back in a nice tone that she understood, and she agreed that despite that one line I couldn't have handled it better. The legal separation paperwork is all finished. Just waiting on the final draft now, and then we'll have my legal aid go over it one last time with me. We have not begun working on the moral conduct of the separation though, as she does not have an answer to my question yet. The question being, now that you are finally being who you feel you are openly and honestly, are you going to give your family, me and the kids, an honest chance? I realize for 3 years she has been unhappy and I have caused her a lot of pain. I also know for 3 years I was trying to get her to open up to me, and if she would have, a lot of this would be negated. I can't rewind time though, so I have to worry about the now. Now that she is ready to be open and honest with herself and others. Now that she is opening her heart to me, I really do feel there is a chance for us if she stays honest. But she has to make that conscious decision to give love another shot. If she is unwilling to make that decision, then as soon as I get back to the States I will begin moving on. Not saying going to date immediately, but I'm saying I am going to start preparing myself to get on proverbial market, and most likely will be dating within a year. Well, Sunday was a good day if not rough. We sat around, played hidden picture games all day on the comp together. Some laughs and chuckles involved. She has been really trying to include me in activities lately. Hey, I want a divorce, but do you want to spend all this time with me? I am taking the time though, have to highlight positive me and steer clear of negative me. Later in the day she went out shopping for groceries. She came back, made a pie while I did dish a little bit later. She cooked a dinner for the family. Once the kids were done with dinner, we gave them pie and watched Beauty and the Beast all out together in the living room with the family. Lots of smiles and laughs between the two of us. Really wanted to bring stuff, but I kept on checking myself, reminding myself our second MC is on Weds. She is really starting to treat me with some love again and a lot more respect. I think the respect is here for good. I am unsure if whether the love is a ploy or not. She has quit making comments subtly as well. She went to make a subtle comment about the floor being vacuumed and changed it to, can you vacuum the floor tomorrow? She has duty tonight, so shouldn't be an update. We will see what Tuesday brings though. Still a lot to work through, not sure if we are going to or not. She seems to realize that a lot of the actions she is divorcing me for were caused by her own actions. She hasn't completely owned it yet, as I have the things that were not her caused. Still one day at a time. It's getting hard to walk the proverbial knife edge though. Might try to talk with her some minus a counselor when she gets off work today. Might also just trying cold shoulder non-responsive with her. Definitely a day to shake the tree some more and see what comes falling down. Just realized last night my tank is on empty and it's painful to be parked right in front of the gas station, so to speak. Every day I am getting closer and closer to ultimatum day. I don't mean it as an ultimatum, but I know that is how it will be taken. The more and more she opens up and talks about what is going on with her, the more I think what a crock. The only thing that has been holding me back is the kids. And only then, because once I leave here it will be a long time before they see their mother again. Yes, she is treating me with more respect. Yes, she is treating me with more love, even if she doesn't realize it's that. But she still isn't committed to trying something new in our relationship. I was unhappy with the status quo as well. We have an honest chance to change the dynamic of our relationship, and if she isn't going to take that chance, then I should kick her out. It's the whole I haven't been happy. I am working on a better me, and the first thing I am going to do is the same thing I have always done: run from challenge and hardship in my life. She has an answer, read, justification for everything. Well, I am working on me, for me, my kids, and yes, to an extent her. When is she going to work on herself like she says she needs to? Why the hell does she need a divorce if she just needs to refine herself? It all comes out hollow, if you know what I mean. Do I think it's because of another man? No, I can honestly say I don't. I do honestly believe she is in a ed-up place right now with her emotions and mindset. She got lost in being the perfect mother, perfect wife, and quit being herself, yes, but how about she tries putting some freaking energy into her relationship and see how things go? Try actually listening to the things that really drive me crazy and acting upon them. Do more than just run away. I know I can't force her to do any of that, but I can stop enabling her spiral, as painful as it would be, by putting my foot down. Not sure what I will do yet. Like I said, the amount of time the children will be away from their mother complicates things some, because I am a good father and know it is going to be hard for them to not be around mommy for that long of a time. I am willing to make that sacrifice of pain for them, but I am getting to the point I can't bear that cross anymore, and if I get to the point where I can't, it will be the children that suffer the most, and they are innocent in all this. Duck me, being a good father is hard. Well, mixed bag weekend. Friday was pretty timid and lame. Saturday, we stayed up, watched a movie. I had suggested camping in the living room, but she missed the point though, said we will do it this weekend. Mother's Day, she went out on a trip in the morning, came home and seemed to enjoy the presents and cards from everyone. Cooked her dinner, nothing too special, just something she hasn't had for a while. Monday was a mixed bag in and of itself. She asked me why it seemed like as soon as we got in the house, I always seemed to switch modes. Did my best to explain without being accusing. Later, after doing dishes, I left a spot of water on the floor. She chided me with a honey. I didn't react to much, even though it was said in a joking manner. Then she said, "Honey, did you hear what I said?" Started to say yes. I smiled, then realized the second time she emphasized the honey, and she just called me honey twice. Today is supposed to be counseling day. Pretty nervous, as she is supposed to be answering a pretty big question for me today. That being, if you need space and time for yourself, why you need a divorce. She told me yesterday not to worry about it and not dwell on it. That reassures me, but only up to a point. So counseling session got postponed by counselor, is now Thursday, waiting 2 more days for the answer to the next big question. Couldn't sleep last night, wrote something down. Wanted to share it and get advice, opinions. Couldn't sleep last night, so I decided to write. I have been being a better man, not just for you but for myself. I am doing my best to open and share my feelings with you in a non-hurtful way. I have some I need to share, but I do not know how. I realize you are unhappy, I truly do, but the things you have said and done in the past half a year or so do not add up. One day you say you haven't loved me for 3 years. The next it was that last fight. Time and time again in the past few years you have put other men's feelings before mine. You say I never listened to you, and in some regards, you are right. But you also never gave me second chances to prove the times I did. How can I show you change if you won't give me the chance? How can you love me when you put everyone else first? I do not want a divorce. I know there are things you have to do. I accept and respect that. But there are also things I have to do. We made promises to each other 9 years ago. I have given you everything you said you needed and tried for more. You quite simply have not. If you refuse to honor your promises to me and continue to force me out of your life, I will walk out of your life. I will never badmouth you to our children, but yes, some of those choices do involve the children. If you force me out of your life, I do not know if I will ever be able to consider you a friend. You see, I gave you my heart. I have always loved and supported you. But if you leave me because love is hard and takes work, because you were unwilling to be my partner in all things like you promised, because marrying me meant you had kids too early that ruined your life, I won't be able to forgive you. I can forgive the emotional abuse suffered the past 3 years. I am coming to realize that what she has put me through is emotional abuse, whether she meant to or not. I can forgive you divorcing me if we give it an honest go and it doesn't work out. I cannot forgive you, though, if you spent the past 3 years turning me into a neurotic mess just so you can justify leaving me. I can't forgive you if you actually allow the feelings for a man you should have never gotten involved with be the reason you divorced me, shattered my dreams, and took away part of my children's childhood. The ball is truly in your court now. Are you going to step up to the challenge of being the wife and mother that you can be, or are you going to continue to try to be the person you could have been? Are you going to be the example and hero to your children that teaches them to try to live up to their word and value others' feelings, or the woman who emotionally ducked up their father, possibly for life? The last paragraph I am really worried about. It seems rather judgmental to me, but at the same time it is how I feel. My children have already commented on what mommy is doing to daddy. No, I haven't said anything bad about her to them. I smile, make sure they know it's not their fault, tell them some things they have to ask their mother about, and do my best to detach my pain when answering their question. But yes, I do think my children will end up not respecting her for doing what she did. Well, if they grow up to be happy, healthy adults, and I plan on making sure they do grow up to be that, and with the help of my in-laws I will accomplish it. So, thoughts, opinions, should I keep that letter as a venting exercise or should I share it with her? Change it, share it with her. The emotional disconnect thing is hard for me, though I have done a much better job of not being happy. Unhappy solely because of her. If she is in a receptive mood, then I treat her warmly. If she is acting stupid, then I just ignore her. She doesn't like it when I turn off, and it really is only turning off to her when the kids come in the room and start engaging. I engage with them. It's more me, no longer me trying to force her to be happy. She wants to be in a bad mood, I allow her to be. I just show her, not tell her, the consequences of her behavior. Unfortunately, no matter how hard I try, she is going to affect me, as it were. But I am doing my best to pretend that she can't affect me. Definitely working on getting that confidence and self-worth back. My self-esteem is pretty high, it's just my self-worth that took a nosedive. Which actually leads me to the events of yesterday, which was a very interesting day. Tid needed to go to the doctor. She works at the clinic. Dropped the daughter off with her so I wouldn't have to deal with both. When I show up, she had a coworker in there and he was trying to show pictures off of his little girl. She pretty much ignored me, no hi or anything, so instead of lingering and forcing it, I told her okay, going to kid's appointment, and walked out. After appointment was almost time for her to get off and had to wait for the script to be put in. So, sat down there with her for a bit. A series of events happened that triggered me, ending with her suddenly wanting me to get out of the office. Not saying she really suddenly wanted me out of the office, but I got triggered, so that's what I felt like. I got obviously upset and she tried to ask me what was up with me. Well, as I was triggered and she was at work, I just said don't worry about it and walked off. While waiting for the script, she got off, came out there and asked me again. I was no longer triggered, so I explained. So, when we got home, things went really well. Ordered a pizza as it has been raining pretty hard here. Neither of us wanted to get out of the car to buy groceries. While waiting for the pizza, she decided to take a shower. My little girl's friend was over, so looked over at the wife and said, "You are lucky." She asked me why. Told her, not in an asked or told as a question. Been waiting for the chance for you to take a shower because I was going to be in there with you. She gave back an honest, flirty smile. Later, when my girl's friend left, I went back there for whatever reason, think I had a question to ask or some such. Gave her hair a quick stroke after asking said stupid question. Had to have been a stupid one because I don't remember what it was about. Damn woman had just finished putting conditioner in her hair. She laughed at me, so I wiped it off on her breast. Got a physical reaction from her, but instead of staying I just smiled and walked out. Thought it would be good to show her I could make a playful physical ouch without it going all physical. When the pizza got here, went back again to let her know, and she invited me in to wash her back. So, went ahead, stripped down right quick, washed her back, then got out, dried off, and served the kids dinner. So, I have to say I think yesterday was my best day so far. I didn't engage when I was in emotional places, even if she tried to engage me. I showed confidence and dominance without being controlling, and her reactions responded to them. Oh, on the ride home I brought up the idea of cohabitation. Didn't get into the details, told her there would obviously be details for us to handle, but it is something to think about. Is it not try to rush a decision and force an answer, but bring it up and make her curious about it. She was definitely intrigued by my idea. Obviously, it wouldn't come into play for a while, and I know some people are going to be like WTF at that comment. 1. I love my kids and I do not want them in a broken home. I would much rather both parents be there for them at all times, even if the parents themselves are only together as friends in the same house. 2. I would only go through with it if there were firm ground rules in place, which I can lay out some major ones. If either parent wants out, they are the one who goes. If either parent wants to date, they are the one who goes. Finances are completely separate with both parents, splitting bills in half, otherwise your money is your money, my money is my money, and I have no say whatsoever in what you spend your money on as long as your bills are paid. Groceries count as bills, but special food items come from your pocket. All decisions regarding the children are to make jointly, as is all discipline. Chores will be split unless it is a personal chore, like your personal laundry. 3. Another reason why I like this idea is it gives me what I need to part ways as friends. So, a list of things that are on the table, as I realize now there are a few. 1. The rules of the separation. We haven't discussed this yet because she is still coming off the fence, and I told her I am not discussing it until she is off the fence, whichever way she may come off. 2. My needs if we are to remain friends after divorce. If divorce happens, and her needs if we are to remain friends after a divorce. 3. Her needs if we are to stay married. 4. Possible cohabitation down the road pending numbers 1 and 2. Okay, 1100 was yesterday. First, let me say we both had a laugh at the MC yesterday after the event. I think it was a tactic, but she kept on saying stuff like she didn't understand and wife, and we just kept looking at each other seeing if we actually understood each other because the counselor was obviously not getting it. Wife says some of this has changed, but this is why she felt divorce. My replies will be after that. He's way too jealous, overprotective, bossy, has to be told to do something that I've told him to do several times. Controlling with the money and me. He gets upset if I spend money without his permission first or questions me about something I've spent money on, though he does the same thing but never explains what he is buying and why. Tells me who I can and can't go out with. Says it's for my protection because I am too naive to take care of myself. When I do go out, I have to ask permission from him to hang out with my friends so as to not cause problems. I have to introduce him to all of my friends before I can go out with them, even if I'm only going out for a few hours. My response to item 1. I am not a jealous person naturally. This has been a result of always feeling like someone else was more important to you. Overprotective I own I am and is something I am working on. Bossy I never mean to come off as bossy, but I have told her several times I know I get a bossy superior tone. Call me out when I do it so I can stop. I honestly don't realize when I get that tone and can't stop it if I don't know it. Being told several times is utter crap because she never actually directly says something. She put me in charge of the finances. In order to run finances I have to know what money is being spent on. She didn't want to handle finances, and anytime I have quit controlling the money she has dug us in some pretty deep holes. If she wanted to know what I spent money on I would tell her and the why. Mind you, most of it is still stuff for her. Yes. I have told her who she can't go out with. I am sorry, I do not want her to go out drinking with the person known to get Deweys. The times I have said no to a particular friend are very few, but she is a mother and wife. Yes, I have insulated on many occasions that she is too naive to take care of herself. But well, she thinks the best of everyone and doesn't think single men that want to be her friends might have ulterior motives. Yes, I want to meet her friends. I don't want to steal them or be my friends. I just want to know they respect the fact she is a mother and wife. Quite a few don't. I feel that he doesn't listen to me or consider my feelings at times because I have to repeat myself or have the same argument and try to explain in a different way the exact same thing I said the day before. I feel much the same way, if not more so. The reason why we have the same arguments is because she never handles the conflict. Tries to guilt trip me into things I don't want to do by saying that I am hurting someone I love. Usually the kids, plaguing on the fact that I avoid conflict. I have never tried to guilt trip her. It is a fact she avoids conflict. She has admitted it herself many times. It is also a fact until recently she was hurting the kids and me. If she feels guilt over that, it is her own fault. Last line was not said to her. I have only done this recently, yes, on a couple of occasions, but I would have never known otherwise. I was not being nosy, it was the fact I knew I was being lied to and she was being secretive. Before said recent incident she was an open book and never cared if I went into her things, oftentimes asking me to email accounts and such. She does not understand the difference between secrecy and privacy. Not said yesterday but has been said before. I felt like I have to be a different person at home. Afraid to be myself up until recently. Even then I change into a different person when I step outside work or when I get on the phone. Need to hide my feelings as to not give off any impression not intended. It's reflex now. I have friends who commented on it and that's the only reason I know I do this. This has been my biggest complaint with her for years during her unhappy times. I have constantly said you treat me differently than you treat other friend. To which her response always was, that's because you're my husband and I love you. Part left unsaid. To say she never noticed it comes off as hollow and makes me wonder what else her friends have told her. I think combined with the first one this is the root of the problem. She also listed some positives. 1. Good with the kids. 2. Is considerate of my need to not stay cooped up in the house and suggests going out often. 3. Values family time. 4. Encourages me to go to college even though I have felt I haven't had the time to do this. Reasons I agree with divorce. She avoids conflict. Anytime we have a problem in our relationship she shuts down and pretends it isn't there instead of handling it there so we can move forward. She must always feel like the victim. Anytime she feels stress or something goes wrong in her life she has to find something to point at and say it's this person's fault. She has expressed no care or concern for my feelings or needs. She often puts the needs of her friends above the needs of her family. She has tried in the relationship but has never truly listened or respected my needs. She is to focus on who she could have been instead of who she can be. She is more worried about what her friends think of her than what her loved ones think of her, or more importantly what she thinks of herself. She broke her promise of always coming to me with her problems, with me especially, before going to someone else. She is fiscally unresponsible. Anytime I have not closely monitored the money she has dug us into a hole. She continuously emotionally blackmails me by asking me to do something such as control the finances, then when I do that thing says I am controlling her. And to end with positives. 1. She has made me a better person. 2. She has dreams. 3. Usually she tries to see the positive in a situation. 4. She is a giving person to people in need. My actual needs. I need to feel respected. That means putting my needs before others, obviously minus oneself, valuing my opinion and being the primary go-to person but not the only person. I need someone who when they get off work comes home doesn't come into the house and sit on Facebook all night talking to the people she just spent the day with that she says is the reason for all her stress. I need someone who is going to be honest with me even if it hurts me. I realize at times I can be overbearing, bossy, or egotistical. What I need is someone to tell me that I am being such so I can knock off the bull crap. I need someone who knows how to find happiness in other people's happiness and who is a happy person in general. I need someone who is committed to myself and my children. Oh, wanted to add the weekend plans. Tonight is camping night, as right now we have a no-touching policy in the bed, for both of us. We are going to stay up late out in the living room watching movies, playing video games, and camp out there after the kids go to bed. Not a guarantee anything will happen, but it is out of the bedroom where something can happen, and yes, I do intend to try but not force. So not much planned, we'll probably just spend some time together. Sunday, weather permitting, we are going to the beach, though she doesn't know it yet. I am just going to wake up, start getting the kids ready, and when she asks to say, "Oh sorry, forgot to tell you I am taking the kids to the beach, would you like to come?" She loves the beach, so it's a surefire plan, but I don't want myself being dependent on her wanting to go. I am going to take charge and show some of the love initiative she fell in love with instead of this daddy initiative. On a side note, Sunday night she waited till I was at my laptop to clean her Facebook. It was refreshing. She wanted me to know she did that even if it isn't clean to the point of where I want it. Facebook for me is for family and a few gaming friends. But it was a deliberate act she wanted me to see because she knows how I feel about Facebook. She talked to her mom Sunday evening as well on Facebook. No idea what was said, but this morning she was pretty chipper with me. In fact, she has been getting more and more chipper with me every day. Well, had an anger conversation yesterday when she got off work. Before it all started, I let her know I was angry, then told her the reasons why I was angry. It wasn't much, just stuff that had been nagging on my mind. We talked for about an hour, just talked, no fighting or yelling. I accepted what she said and that was that. Interesting info did come from the conversation. She still wants a divorce, but she is giving me an honest chance. From reading the forums here and looking at the ladies' clubhouse, seems like the majority of women who say that don't really want the divorce. They are just prepared for one if nothing changes. I have been committed to my changes, so I am hoping it's a non-issue. She has finally admitted to the fact that she is spending more energy on everyone else than herself in her own personal relationship, and she is sorry for it. But she also said even though she is the one who neglected in that regard, so much love has been lost that she has to rebuild it. I don't agree, but I realize I can't invalidate that feeling she has, otherwise I am forcing her. Counseling session is today. Let's hope the counselor acts smarter today than she did last session, as I think it has helped us quite a bit. Shrug. If not, then today will be our last trip, which would be a shame because it feels like we are getting somewhere. If we do continue counseling, thinking about a biweekly thing. She has given me lots of reasons to believe it wasn't about the Ia she had, and the Ia was just an unfortunate event that happened because of all our other issues. Obviously, it was a very painful thing. Well, the camping session got delayed to this weekend, but we still spent the weekend together, and I don't mean in the same house, mean spending time together. Everything has been moved to this weekend, which is fine by me as she wants to drink to loosen up. Yeah, I get I didn't meet her needs, I just don't get why the lies about not meeting her needs for 3 years then being solid on divorce. But then again, after looking at Ladies Clubhouse, her actions sound like the women who want to stay married need a change in their marriage even if the problems were originally created by them. They need the man to instigate the change, so to say. I am fine with that. Now that I have more an idea of what I was doing wrong, I can fix it. Some of it is stuff she never directly said, but after changing me she has responded to it, and some of it is directly related to what she said, and some of it I am not going to change, and she can learn that that's part of life, or honestly better off without her. An example, her being stuck on what she could have been instead of what she can be. I know some people might read that wrong. I am sure you're not one of them jellybeans, so let me clarify that for people that have been reading my story. We got married young. A lot of what she seems to be feeling stems from the fact she missed her 20s, that she skipped that part of her life. I cannot make her to come to grips with that. I matured early and my party days were done when I met her. She never got her party days. What she isn't seeing is that ultimately after her party days she would be right where she is now. She has a husband that cares and loves for her, and though he has on occasion been emotionally neglectful, he has never with intention tried to harm her. Her parents fully approve of me, and I definitely want to be there for my children. All in all, the women who have lived their party days know I am a catch because they have the experience to back it up. She doesn't and still thinks what if granted her being the only married woman with children in her position and age category at work doesn't help as she has no one physically present to reinforce that concept. Instead she has young 20-something who are just entering their party phase. I plan on doing both lists, the first to validate her feelings and at the same time express what I feel is wrong with the marriage. Maybe an item or two will be left off. The needs list is meant more as a pick-me-up because I know she is fully capable of meeting all of my needs. Last night I broke down due to my own personal demons. I tried to not let her see it as I knew she would think I was breaking down because of just her. It was too late though. I know the nothing to resolve feeling. I give her credit, she is giving me a chance, but it feels like that chance is only coming from half her heart, so to speak. She still hasn't moved forward on any of the things she said she would move forward on. Separation paperwork. A new flyer to get rid of the cats. The paperwork to get me and the kids back to the States. And so forth. Well, weekend went well if not great. Flirty touching has really picked up a lot of instigated by her and she isn't recoiling from my touch. She has admitted she is aware I might not be gone according to her schedule. If I am not gone by then we have actually planned a mini vacation. The camping night went okay. We ended up not staying out in the living room. She had reservations about her original plan, but I cranked the AC in the bedroom. I have always liked to sleep when it's cold. She is a warm sleeper. I used to keep it warm for her, which had the side benefit of her scooting closer and closer and then realized she was snuggled against me and scooting back away. I know, cruel in some ways, but she can always put more clothes on, but you can only take so many off. It rained on Sunday, so no beach. Well, it was cloudy and by the time we got to the beach it said, "Yup, I am going to rain today," instead of passing overhead. That's fine though, as we made some more plans based off of it. Well, that is about it. Things are still moving in a positive direction. I still am not a married man again, but I am definitely not an about to be divorced man. Still don't know which way she is going to fall, but I have reached over the divorce fence, grabbed her and brought her back to the married side. Now if I could just convince her it's safe to put her damn feet down on the ground and let go of the fence. On a side note, we are done with the counselor. Still think we need counseling, but this counselor has really become counterproductive to both of our needs, so we have decided to break up with her. She took my needs list pretty seriously as well as the reasons I agree with divorce list. 2 days later, I am not sure what to make of all this. Besides, women are crazy. No offense, ladies. The more I pretend like we are just having a spat, ignore the fact that I know she wants a divorce, the more she acts like we are just having a spat. I mean, seriously, women, do you really know what in the hell you are want, or do you all live in what happened 5 minutes ago land? Take her to work, take kid to school, go to dental, come back later for my partial root canal. Happens to be near the time boy needs to be picked up. She takes girl to pick up boy, then has to spend like 30 minutes with them both while I get finished. 30 minutes of having both kids and she is done, gets snappy with me and starts taking it out on me, which I calmly and politely remind her I do this every day and don't take it out on her. That I don't mind. She is frustrated, but it's not right to transfer that frustration to me. Come home, she sits on the love seat, ends up passing out. I missed my Canucks game, so after doing some stuff I lift up her legs and sit on the couch. Having gotten no sleep, ends up passing out with her for a period of hockey. Then cook dinner, set up season finale of Glee for her, wrestle some and watch some more. No ordinary family. Seriously, what the hell? Yes, I want to stay married, but is it really as simple as just not bringing up "you might be divorcing me"? Do all I really have to do is improve myself and pretend she didn't say the D word? It shouldn't be that easy, but her actions have been saying just that. On a side note, less than 30 days away until supposed go back to the States day. Second draft of separation paperwork is still not here. This makes it about 30 days, and we got our first draft after 3 days. She has still not set up new bank account, found a home for the cats, set up an allotment. Really done anything to get me and the kids back to the States. Considering some of it is government paperwork, there really isn't much chance in hell that I will be gone within the next month, if even the next 2 months. Well, one day at a time anyways, but recently each day has been better than the last in regard to reconciliation. Her actions when she isn't reminding herself she doesn't love me say she loves me. She has to make a conscious effort now that her outside stress has gone down to not love me, and anyone can see her do it. I do think there is a guilt-shame component in it. One of her biggest flaws, 9 in her opinion, is saying something then not sticking to it. Now it feels like she is sticking to her decision made in a flash, even though she doesn't think it is the right decision anymore. Of course, I can't point any of this out to her. It is just so damn frustrating at times. Every day though I get more and more right by myself and need her less and less, which is a good thing. I think she is getting there as well, something similar, that yes, she can do things by herself, but she doesn't have to. We shall see what the cards hold though. Let's see what's my plan, or what's her plan. My plan is to show her I am still the man she loves, which cold and distant won't work for, because well, that isn't the man she loves. Neither is an insecure needy man. So, my plan is just to be the man I should be regardless of her, which is having a very drastic effect on her. It wasn't so much the D word that hurt, it was all these problems that have been around for years that I have been begging to hear that she never told that led to the divorce that hurt. Her plan and her actions are what don't match up. It has gone from "I can't wait to get a divorce" to "I don't know when we will get a divorce" to really just separation talk but no action taken really for separation for a while. I think her plan right now, as I am being that better man, is mess up the paperwork so I don't leave. I can't really push her on what her plan is because I actually have been too pushy in the past. I can live with her trying to save face for now. It's much more important to fix us than worry about small slights. Obviously, all this detox still needs to be handled if we stay together, but for now, I am just concentrating on bettering myself, looking out for my kids, and yes, on saving my marriage. As for letting her have it both ways, I agree. I have told her if we were back stateside things would be going a lot differently. Us being in a foreign country and the fact that if I do go back stateside early means certain things for my children has complicated matters out of their sake. If I was back stateside, I would have honestly just taken a vacation by myself to my home and let her deal with everything I deal with for 2 weeks, then see how she feels. She knows if she sends me back without recommitting to the marriage, there is a strong possibility that when she gets back some other woman will have been filling in the mom role for X months because I am not going to wait around. And just for the record, I am only giving her love and affection when she is being positive towards me. When she is negative, which has been very lately since starting this method, I put her on ignore after telling her why she is being put on ignore. So, her verbal plan compared to her actions don't match up. Her verbal plan is "I want to be single." Her actions, including changing the habits I have issues with and working on fulfilling my needs, say she wants to be married to me. Every day is a new day, though she'll keep fighting it one day at a time and continue to be the man I ought to be. Well, I jinxed myself, finally called with the separation paperwork. Damn it all, but she is saying it is just so she can do the paperwork now. She is starting to realize she is going to be missing out on the kid's life. Daughter turns 5 and boy turns 7 soon, and she just realized she won't be there for their B-days. Those are going to be some very hard days for me as I cope with the kids wondering why mommy isn't at their B-day party. As always, shall see what the next day brings and the day after that, keeping my head up and trying to stay realistically optimistic, as in I am trying to see the good in everything without reading too much into any one thing. Limo lasts till late June, early July if the paperwork goes fast. That is just for me going back to the States. Divorce, if it goes that route, is 18 months out due to legal complications, and that is in the least. I am not so much thinking that way. I don't have this grand plan to go out and hit the market right away if worse came to worse. More of a just I won't wait and be your plan B, though when having it reflected back at me in the way I worded it, I can see it was not a prime choice of words. She has been honest with me on where she is at, or at least I believe honest. But I don't want to leave here, go back stateside, and still be in limbo land. If I leave here and she is still undecided, I don't want her to have the expectation that I am going to just raise our kids and hope mommy decides to come home. I can handle waiting for the aha moment in the same house, but an ocean away for 18 months, nope, not going to happen. 18 months is the short projection, and even then, she may still not be living near the kids. If she finishes up her career, our oldest will be almost done with high school by the time she can come back to home state for good. Right now we are slowly just handling issues, trying to tackle them one at a time. It feels we are making progress, and I have seen signs that the EA fog is finally starting to lift. The EA has been over for a while, but it's taking her a while to stumble clear from the haze. So, confused, yes, I am, but I am confused by her words versus her actions, because she seems very confused, and overwhelming her or telling her how I think she feels or how it appears to me that she feels, or however to word that really isn't going to help the matter. Tomorrow we were going to talk some, probably set an egg timer for an hour or two and deal with heavy stuff. Especially as she finally talked about how she is going to be missing time with the kids, so she opened the door for that angle. As for filed paperwork, it's all a pretty straightforward separation agreement. I get custody of kids, cannot move them out of home state without her permission. Maternal grandparents get reasonable visitation. Spousal support for myself. Been a Mr. Mom for 7 years. Along with child support for our 2 children. Not really an angle to attack from there, and paperwork unless I file is a long way off, and yeah, right now I am not of the mind to file. As for filling the mommy role, have no interest whatsoever of finding a new mommy for my children. I know it can't be avoided as a couple moves on separately, but I want my children to only know one mommy. I have been to the best of my ability whilst dealing with the ramifications for my children. Like I said, if I was back in the States, this would all be a lot easier. Being where I am geographically and what this will mean for my kids, I am trying to ensure them as much mom time as possible while me and her deal with us. Things day by day are getting better, but again, due to where I am at geographically, I have a limited timetable. I can't really just do the whole no contact, well, limited contact because of the kids for 6 months or however long is needed. If I force her out of the living area now, then that is just an extra couple months the kids won't have their mother, and I refuse to punish my kids or use them as an emotional weapon. They are innocent in this all and deserve as much mom time now as possible before possibly not getting any good mom time till they are graduating high school. So, have been doing talks in bites. She knows unless she is 100% committed, I will be walking away when I go back to the States, and she is giving us a chance right now. The chance through action seems genuine, but quite honestly, I am lacking in trust of her right now. I have to start trusting her though if there is going to be any chance of reconciliation. Not saying I am putting all my eggs in that basket yet, but each day she is moving closer to home, so there is hope. I do status update conversations every once in a while, just to see where we are at. We have re-entered her vocabulary recently, and like I said, though she says she still wants a divorce, a lot of her actions of late have said what she really wants is different than what she is verbally expressing. I just wish she would confide in someone like her parents. You know, someone who might tell her the hard truth if they knew everything, instead of someone who isn't. A month later, still not divorced, still not married, still somewhere in limbo, and still overseas, definitely looking mid to late July now at the earliest. No complaints though. So how are things going? Better, you might ask. Well, she has officially gone from wanting a divorce to I don't know what I want. I know may not seem like much, but her actions have been entirely what can I do to repair our relationship. In the bedroom, still no passionate lovemaking, not there yet, but at nighttime she started with foot snuggles. You know, moving her leg over to where it is touching mine. To the past 2 nights in the middle of the night when I roll away from her. Not intentionally, but if I can't cuddle, which is of the moment we are not cuddling in bed, it is a safe zone, I toss and turn, and no pillows don't help. It's not the same thing. She has rolled to face my back and put her hand in the center of my back, rubbing it. Last night I decided to see how aware it was and moved away slightly and moved slightly away. After she did it, sure enough, she readjusted to where she could touch me again and resumed rubbing. Rubbing is probably the wrong word, it is just one of those slow thumb movements. In normal life she is being very considerate to the needs of the family while still taking care of her needs. It's been months since she tried a no-win situation. Now she either says she is going to do something, or if it is something she is open to compromise with, she will honestly ask. For example, tomorrow her friend just got back from vacation and she told me she was inviting her over. Nor is it okay if she comes over, which I guess brings me to the really good news. She is starting to trust me again and be open with me. She is definitely trusting me and my ability to get over little things. As an above example, I am not really happy her friend will be coming over tomorrow, but really, it's not that big of a deal and I will get over it. So, it's a good thing. It has allowed us to move really far from where we were. Like I said, still not all the way there, but I admitted way back in the beginning I didn't want the quick, easy fix and am willing to take the long, slow, painful road. Have about 1.5 years, over 3 years worth of issues to deal with. A few months isn't going to magically erase it all. I have begun writing her every workday. Yes, they contain my feelings, but the only emotions I ever show in them are positive ones. Only had one start to get angry and stopped it, but still gave it to her. They are helping a lot to keep me from over-talking her and managing my levels so I don't get to angry, bitter, whatever. She reads them every morning and has made a few comments upon them. She says I am being realistically hopeful in them in regard to me and her. Yesterday the daughter and her sweet almost 5-year-old self started talking about how she wants mommy and daddy together like in the picture. Family picture. Wife was sitting out there and did my normal explanation of things. Wife smiled warmly at the fact I said mommy and daddy are trying to be better people, and when we finish becoming better people, we are going to reassess. Really think that is where we are at. I don't think she will openly admit it yet, but from all her actions it really seems she now wants to stay completely married, take some time for the two of us to work on ourselves while slowly rebuilding our relationship, send me to the States, come back to the States herself 1 year later and see where we are. She called her parents and wants to move forward on divorce again. Apparently even her parents are confused on it. I am hurt by it all, but handling it a lot better this time, because I know I have been doing everything I can and well. Duck it. I am sad this time, but it's not desperate or heart-wrenching. The fireworks were over Facebook. God, how I hate that thing. Yes, I use it myself, but not to connect with the world, just with people that matter. I am being resolute this time, no more backpedaling like I did in the past. She isn't going to scare me with D-talk if it was just an emotional outburst to her parents and it's serious. Again, not sure it will go there, could just be an emotional temper tantrum because she is still torn. Well, hell, either way it's an emotional temper tantrum, and yes, I want to be with her, but I will not let her antics faze me, and if that is what she wants in her life I will keep moving forward. My comment, glad it is not affecting you the same way this time. He'll be single and wonderful. You can always find someone better. Did you guys like the ending? OP did not beg for his wife back, and he is slowly accepting everything. Remember, this all happened within a couple of months. OP dealt with this better than a lot of other people. You agree? Check out the first and 2 parts down below and let me see if I can get one more video up for you guys today.